Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We're going to hit you with a little update in the garden. So from here, I am working with the tomatoes today, making little tomato trellises out of just some metal pole and some PVC wire, PVC pipe. So in between each pole here that holds the PVC, we're doing about 5 feet for the plants in between. And on the corners, we are putting on this PVC 1-inch adapter to the corners that'll connect the rod to the PVC pipe. Okay, so I have now put together the tomato trellis. Now all that's left to do is put some string on here, draw it down, and have those tomatoes climb up and grow. Okay, so I went back and I raised these trellises a little bit higher because I just now realized how tall tomato plants can get. I'm just doing a simple knot, double just for good. No. And I'm going to measure all the way down here to the bottom of the stem, and right about there we're going to cut. Remember, we want this as tight as can be.
Yeah, I think this might be too short.
So you know how I told you to cut just enough from the pipe down to the plant? Well, I would recommend cutting maybe just 2 to 3 inches and extra slack so it makes it easier to cut it and it's not, so hard to tie it. And I'm gonna cut right here where my thumb is. So after doing the first one, I learned another valuable lesson. It might be a little bit easier to do it from the bottom all the way to the top.
Hi everybody. Okay, so we got all the trellises done. This is kind of temporary. It's really short, but it'll work for now until we build wooden ones. As you can see, I've been cutting them back. They're a lot thinner so the airflow can get through there. I have a couple tomatoes already going, which is exciting. It's just the beginning of June, so hopefully it's a good sign of a really good harvest. So I cleaned this one out, but I missed this little guy. So any of these you see that are hanging down and touching the soil, you want to get rid of those. So I'm just going to cut this off, and there's actually a little sucker right there I'm going to pull off. You don't want to leave any leaves or anything on the ground either, because that can create disease. I've cleaned up most of these. We transplanted 2, and so they're looking really sad right now, this one and this one. They were further back this way, but the one good thing about the trellis is as you clean it up and then you trellis it up like a vine, because tomato is a vine, you can plant more in a smaller area. And so these should be okay, hopefully. We gave them a bunch of water after we transplanted them, so hopefully they will be okay. But what I wanted to do was save this last one for you guys to kind of see what I do as far as trimming them back once you've got them trellised. So we're just going to take off a lot of these lower leaves that hit the ground and are not trellised up. And it looks a little scary because you're like, oh my gosh, that's all that growth. But it will be okay. They'll just keep growing and growing. And this will actually help them to grow larger tomatoes and just stay overall healthy. I've done like the lazy gardening and it works just fine too. I mean, you don't necessarily have to trellis it up. This was just something I wanted to do this year, especially. We'll do a little walkthrough in the garden. We've definitely grown our garden over the last 3 years, and so I'm just trying to get the most out of my garden beds, and by trellising, that's something that I can get. It's just more room. So I'm just cutting back all these lower leaves and just anything that, especially that it's hitting the ground. And we're using these little clips here. You just bend them, you get the string in this part, and then you put your stem through here. Kind of like, I've already put some, but I'll just put one here. So I hope you guys can see that. Okay, so we were overheating, so I had to cool down the camera. We're gonna get back to cutting these. I do have some tomatoes here that really I should probably just cut off, but I think I'm gonna leave them. So I'm gonna try and figure out where they're coming from. And I found that it's coming off of this one, but what I can do is I can cut this one off. Got some new starts growing, but I'm going to, oh, I did kind of cut this, so I wonder how it's gonna grow. What we'll do is I'll just cut this off here, and then I don't know if that's gonna affect these tomatoes here, if you can see them, but we'll keep an eye on them. I want to get most of this trellised up and airy. I'm gonna add another clip down here because I don't think it has enough support. It's a little bit better. Okay, I'm gonna cut this one right here because see how it's growing down? It's getting eventually, it's almost there, touching the ground, and so you don't want that. And honestly, I could cut this one coming off and then just have this, just get all of our growth from this single stem here. Okay, so the tomatoes are trellised and it's cleaned up. All the air can go through the bottom. I may trim some more off in a few days. I can see maybe some that could have been trimmed, but I don't want to take off too much. I want it to definitely get that sun on the leaves for photosynthesis. Take a little garden tour here. I have some pots here that have different flowers and mint, spearmint. We have corn growing here. Our new puppy decided to break through our gate over there while we were gone fishing, and she pulled up and dug up a bunch of stuff in here. So I have corn here and I have garlic growing here. These rows of garlic were going to be for seed for next year. This whole bed I would like to make a garlic bed, and so I'm kind of bummed that happened because I've lost a lot of the garlic that I was going to use as seed that could potentially seed this whole bed, but hopefully I'll still get a good garlic harvest. And then there's some random radishes. I've harvested some and we'll get to that in a little bit, but I've left some of these. I'm not sure if they'll grow. I should have thinned them out, but I didn't, so I'm just going to give them another week and see if they start producing larger bulbs. Silas planted some more corn through here, so I read that it would be okay. What it is you'll just get corn at different stages, which is kind of cool, but ideally you do want to plant them all at the same time. It's just really good for pollination. So on this side, this is all my herbs, And I do have a weed right there, and that's intentional. It's called wild lettuce, and so I'd like to make a tincture out of that. But I have my rosemary and some oregano, and this is that wild lettuce that I will make into a tincture. A little bit of lavender. This was a bok choy we had, and cilantro, and this goes for both of these. We had really cool weather, and then it went really hot for a day or two, and then it went really cool again, and so everything just bolted. And I've cut most of it down, and I'm hoping that it'll keep producing the cilantro. We use a lot of cilantro, and with this bok choy, I'm gonna harvest the leaves, and you can still use the leaves even though they're not it hasn't grown like you would normally see bok choy. I have a bunch of marigold seed that I threw in here, and they seem to be going a little wild. I will probably pull most of this, but there's some parsley. I had to cut that back. It all went was trying to go to seed. And then these are some voluntary sunflowers that just decided to pop up. I have a little bit of dill throughout there, and this is some more parsley, flat leaf, and then I'm not sure what the other one was. This is a green onion that I bought from the store, and I just decided to plant it because we weren't using it in time and it was gonna die. A little cherry tomato and some basil. On this side we have peppers. We have Anaheim, poblano, jalapeno, habanero, and then I also have onion in between, and a couple marigolds, because you know those are perfect for the bees and the butterflies and all that good stuff. So I have a few eggplants here, the tomatoes, which we've been working on this morning, and then green beans. This plant, which the pot, the day that our puppy got in the corn bed, she also decided to tear up my pots, which was kind of a bummer. Some more green beans. Over here we have dill and cilantro. I like to grow extra dill because we pickle the cucumbers, and so here's the cucumbers here. I had this random potato in the house that was starting to get eyes, and so I thought, oh, I'll just plant it here. So this is asparagus, and there's a couple other asparagus, tiny asparagus growing through here. This asparagus is voluntary. I had planted asparagus in another part of the yard, and somehow it got over here, probably a bird or something, but it is doing so well here. So I figured this will be our asparagus garden. Silas and Isaac cooling off. It is hot today. Okay, so that's it for this side of the yard, and then we have more. Isaac and Nick just built this greenhouse, and we used free pellets. So all of this was free except for the PVC and the plastic that we purchased. He used, it's a bit of a mess right now, but he used the pellets to make all my tables up here. It's almost time to start fall seeds. Over here is the pool, but we also have the garden here. This is our cherry tree, and here I have a bunch of onion, and there's some voluntary tomatoes. These were peas, but something has been eating them. So there's a voluntary okra, which my okra is planted further that way. but I'm guessing a bird grabbed the seed and went back along the fence line. It's all open there, so I decided to grow sunflowers back there. I heard that sometimes sunflowers can cause issues with your vegetables, and so I figured if I grow them outside of the box, hopefully that will deter that from happening. So some more peas, but something is eating them. So if you know of anything to help with that, please comment and help me out, because I really would like to grow some peas. I have another voluntary tomato. They just seem to be popping up everywhere. These are a zucchini that I started from seed. There's 4 different types. Another voluntary okra, some more marigolds, some more sunflowers here along the back, and this is a hollyhock there. That was there when we bought the house, and there was actually a lot more, and I pulled most of them, but I kept that one. I have our not so hot peppers here, like sweet peppers, and this is mostly radishes, which I was picking earlier, and they're looking pretty sad now, so I need to get them in the house. But I jumped over to that tomato project. So next I'll be pulling the rest of these radishes that are ready to go. Let's see if we can see some of these guys. There's some there. Look at how big those are. My goodness. So those ones are pretty huge. Let's pull this guy. Look at him. So I'm going to be pulling these and fermenting some, and then also pickling others, and then we'll just have some fresh. But this basket is almost full. There's tons of them in here, so I will have some fun with that. We have some beets, some green beans here. These pots are just mixed flowers and some zinnias and some more sweet sweet peppers. I have a bunch of okra seed through this area. I like to make gumbo, and so I thought, and fried okra. Fried okra is the best, but we will see if those come up. I had an artichoke plant in there, but it is not doing too well. I can still kind of see it, but I have my bird feeder, and I think because a lot of the seed drops down there, it just has, I've tried to weed it out, and I think it just overtook the garden pot. So this is stinging nettle, and I don't know, it hasn't come up, so I'm wondering if I was supposed to cold stratify it, but that's for this side. All right, so outside of this bed, the one that we just went through, we have these potato towers. So I've always grown potatoes kind of like in the ground or in pots, like I'll show you over here. This is supposed to be for a lemon tree, but I have not gotten it yet. And so I decided, I'm going to throw a couple of potatoes in there that were in the house, and they were growing eyes, and I didn't want to toss them, and I didn't plan on cooking them anytime soon, so I just threw them in that pot. But anyways, we have these potato towers, and this is the first year that we've tried this, so they seem to be doing good. It's going to be kind of interesting to see how many potatoes we get out of this. It's kind of a nice way to grow your potatoes, outside of the ground where it takes up a bunch of room, and I can plant other things. With this, I can just grow them vertically. I mean, the more stuff you can grow vertically, the better it's going to be, right? Because you'll just have more room for things like this. I have bok choy, but I told you about the bok choy, how it was hot and cold and hot, and so it just all went to seed. And now it looks like something has been eating it, and so I've kind of just like left it for sacrificial plants, hoping that it doesn't, whatever is eating it stays with this instead of going towards something else until I can find it and get rid of it. These are more zucchini squash. So when I purchased them from Mennonites, and the gal had thought that it was watermelon, and I thought, that looks a little bit different, but I'd never heard of the brand, so I thought, okay, well, we'll give it a shot. Silas loves watermelon. Well, lo and behold, it's zucchini, but it's doing good, and I already have some zucchini growing on there, and so we're just going to keep it. I ended up planting watermelon in some pots, and so I'm going to see how that does. Green beans here. I am not getting any green beans yet. I am hoping that I'm going to start seeing some soon. We're starting to get warmer, and so hopefully that will help. I have 6 Brussels sprouts, 6 broccoli, and 6 cauliflower, and it is starting to get warm, and so I'm kind of worried about it bolting. But I'm hoping that it's going to do okay because we have this big tree that shades it. And hopefully we will get some produce. If not, then I will just use the seed. I also have pumpkins growing along here. I plan to trellis them over our fence. And see this little guy right here? You do not want these around your cabbage. Or brassicas, not cabbage, sorry. I haven't planted cabbage yet. You do not want those around your brassicas. They will lay, and their babies will eat all of your brassicas. Over here is like my lettuce and spinach. We put this netting up because I thought maybe we would do okay with, birds and bugs and things like that staying out of it. Yeah, that was wishful thinking and wishful hoping. So they are just eaten up. I don't know if you can really see that, but hopefully this netting will help. And then this is ornamental corn. So ornamental corn is what you use to do like popping corn. And so Silas really likes popcorn, and he had seen this. We went to the store, and so we decided to get it. Well, I've never grown it, and I'm really not, I don't, with corn and stuff, it's not something that I've really grown, so I don't know too much about it, but I, for some reason, thought about looking it up and seeing if it was going, if I could plant them together. And it says that if you have ornamental corn and regular corn, what you want to do is plant them within a mile of each other because they can cross-pollinate. And I'm like, oh great. Well, we don't have a mile of land to, keep that cross-pollination from happening. So I just put one on one end of the backyard and then one on the side yard, and we're hoping for the best. So could turn out okay. If it doesn't, it's just a learning curve. Kind of like with everything you do with gardening, and you could try and do it perfect and something will go wrong, or you won't plant something, like all the voluntary stuff that pops up and you're not planning to have it there, and it just grows great. So over here we have our peach tree, and one of our chickens is laying underneath there getting cool. Hi. She is hot. It is a warm day. I think I'm gonna throw on the sprinkler here because our grass is kind of dying. We turned all of our sprinklers off in the backyard, and we've just been kind of hand watering until we get our drip system in. But we've changed so much in the backyard that we will need to put in new sprinkler heads and things like that to get to the areas that we need them in. So right here we had Nick and Isaac had built the chicken coop there, and it was great, and it had a little run, but I wanted more chickens. As you can see, there's one there. I wanted more chickens, and so I decided to make this area bigger for them. And this was our storage shed that we turned into the chicken coop. And so what we're gonna do, we'll just keep it like this. We have some new straw we're gonna clean out their bed here soon. Okay, battery change. So what I was saying was we've made this larger because I wanted more chickens, and this could house more chickens. Now, I'm not showing you this because it's amazing and all that, but what I want you to see is that we've used pallets to make all of this stuff. The only thing we had to purchase was the hinges, and of course if you don't have the stakes you would have to get those, but the wood itself, you know, free pallets. If you can find someplace locally, you can do this, and you know, until you can build something nicer or what have you. So we plan to take that side right there with the chicken wire. I don't know if you can see the chicken wire, but that was part of the old coop here, and so we're gonna go ahead and take that down and just make it all kind of like this. I'll go ahead and show you over here. We have our wood underneath this big tarp. It's ugly, but it keeps it safe for the winter time. So this here is all my raspberries, and I have a blackberry growing here. I've lost 3, all from dogs. So we love our dogs, but man, they can be a pain sometimes. So bunch of raspberries. We have these were established when we moved here, and so they really take off and produce quite a bit. If you look, you just see them everywhere, so that's really exciting. This here is also a mess. Everything is a work in progress here, and I'm never gonna make everything look like it's perfect. What you see is what you get. But what we plan to do here is do meat rabbit, so that will be a future video. And we really don't know much about meat rabbits. We are learning as we go before we get them, and so we hope to maybe by next year or the end of the year maybe even get some meat rabbits going and maybe do some processing videos. And so if anybody's watching out there and you have meat rabbits or you are experienced with them, please give us advice. We plan to do the colony setup. I know there's a lot of disadvantages to that, and a lot of people actually don't like the idea of the colony for various reasons. So comment why you think a colony would be good and why you think it would be bad, and then maybe if I get enough of one, it may lean me to go towards the cages, or maybe we'll just stick with the original idea of the colony. The colony for us was mainly so that, one, it's easier, I think. You just kind of let them do their thing. But also, for me, I thought maybe quality of life. But if they're getting sick and stuff like that, or we're running into parasites and things like that, is that really quality of life? So anyways, let me know what you think. Here is one of our new hens. We've added 3 to the flock, and Isaac, our oldest, was helping with the tomatoes. He brought these 3 home from school. This was his senior year, so he graduated this year. But his teacher was nice enough to let him come home with 3 of, actually wasn't his teacher, one of the teachers from school. A biology teacher, gave him 3 that she had incubated and stuff. So that was kind of a blessing. 3 chickens are always nice. One of them, we think maybe a rooster, and as much as I would like to have a rooster, especially with the dual purpose chickens and then process them, we cannot have a rooster. So if it is a rooster, it's probably going to be given away. Or let's hope maybe it has like a really quiet crow, or what do you call it? I don't even know what you call it. Rooster? No, not roost. No, I don't know. Anyways, I don't know what it's called, but yeah. So if it is a male, we will probably have to get rid of it. But I'm going to get started on these radishes before it gets any warmer, and I was hoping to save some of the radish tops, and so the more wiltier they get, the worse they're going to be. So better get started. All right, so with the radishes, there wasn't much left to pick. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in and let's get to canning some of them. Well, not canning technically. We're gonna ferment some and then we're going to I'm laughing because Isaac's walking over here with the chicken. Say hi. Hi. Our white ones are the most friendliest of them all. What? Hi, say hi. Yes, hi. Hello. Okay, we're inside now. I think I'm gonna let these radishes kind of sit, because you know how I was telling you that I wanted to try and save the radish tops and that they're a little wilty. I'm hoping that maybe having them sit in the water for a little bit will kind of bring them back to life, and it will also clean off some of these radishes. Look at this guy. Look at this thing. I thought this was a beet because I had planted some beets. But I thought, well, it looks like it's ready if it's a beet. But I haven't seen any of my other beets ready. When I pulled it, I'm like, oh no, this is a radish, but it's split. I've never grown a radish that big. I figured we grow a bunch of radishes this year and we can pickle them, ferment them, and we kind of like that. That may be something we do every year. Normally just a couple little radishes if we do plant them. I think mainly because the kids didn't really eat them, but now that they're getting a little bit older, I don't know. I guess it was just something I never really thought about growing often. But I'm excited to try them fermented. We've really been wanting to start doing more fermented foods and beverages for gut health, overall health. And so fermented radishes may be something new we do. Gonna put them in there, kind of move them around a little bit. Maybe I'll let them sit for a little bit and then drain them and then maybe fill it back up and do some baking soda and vinegar. I think we'll do that. I don't know. I don't really do that. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Fill it back up. And it looks like the leaves are kind of coming back with this water, so that's exciting. I think I'll harvest some of them. There's still some that are, well, I think these were already kind of growing on there like that, but some of the yellow ones and stuff I'll get rid of, but the greener ones I will definitely keep. We'll just let it fill back up and give it a good rinse. I think what I'm going to do is just kind of wash them